Shocking and surprising news just in. EA is still a shitty company. Hello everyone and welcome to the video where today, just another little opinion piece. Do let me know if you guys are liking some of these amongst all the gameplay stuff. Today I just want to talk to you guys about EA doing an oopsie. EA has done an oopsie and has decided to cancel yet another promising sounding Star Wars game. Because EA's response to anything taking a little bit of time is to cancel it. Reportedly, that's the reason why, that it didn't fit their schedule and wouldn't be coming out soon enough. Which is exactly why we get trash like Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 that just weren't ready for launch, because there must be some kind of deadline that everyone's having to stick to. And while I understand, you know, there's money and all that kind of stuff riding on these kind of projects, you can't rush things. You can't rush games. You can't rush movies. There's a lot of things which you can't really rush and then have some semblance of a great finalized thing. I mean, look at Battlefield 5. That got delayed an extra month and it still came out horrifically broken and then keeps getting patches that break it some more because it's an EA title again, and they must be getting, you know, forcibly whipped into sticking to deadlines and stuff. And it's just, you can't do it, EA. You need to give developers time to be able to put their own time and care and love into a project. Because as a Star Wars fan, a huge Star Wars fan myself, it shouldn't be difficult to make a Star Wars game that I would enjoy. I like games and I love Star Wars. So Battlefront 1 and 2, obviously the reboots, not the originals. The originals are fucking amazing. But then we just got the trash that came out. I mean, they look good, graphically amazing, but just really, really poorly produced. And obviously, don't get me started on the whole beginnings of Battlefront 2 and the microtransactions that were tied to the goddamn progress in the game. Like, that was a good idea. But didn't you get your sense of achievement? EA has actually responded to the reports of the cancellation, while basically doing a neither confirming nor denying sort of thing. They have stated that there's been speculation overnight about one of our Star Wars games projects. As part of the natural creative process, the great work by our team in Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content and games. So basically that says to me that it wasn't been made quick enough, and now it's just going to be chopped and spliced and then made into something else, which undoubtedly is probably going to show. If Battlefront 1 and 2 are anything to go by, it's going to end up being terrible now. I really hope not, because it'd be nice to have a good Star Wars game, but at this point, I just think EA should have the license taken off them. A lot of people have said it, and I entirely agree. I mean, you can look at this brilliant tweet that was doing the rounds the other day. Let me see if I can find it. I just saved it as a picture, actually, because I wanted to cover it. So here we go, a 4-year period of Star Wars games under LucasArts and a few other companies. That is a lot of games. That is a lot of games over a 4-year period. You got more than 2 each year just there. And a lot of those are great titles, like obviously Star Wars Galaxies, the Clone Wars, the Lego games, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, which are both just absolutely phenomenally good. If you get the chance to play it, guys, now do it. They're both on Steam, and they're both obviously really cheap these days. Absolutely 100% do it. Brilliant action RPGs. We've got Star Wars Empire at War there. Brilliant. The original Battlefronts, of course. And of course, Jedi Academy, which, oh, so good. I think I'm actually going to have to download that and play it again. And then under EA 2013 to 2017, a shit with a little bit of glitter on top. I had high hopes of Battlefront 2. Most of you guys know that I pre-ordered it, which you shouldn't do. I don't want to encourage pre-orders, but when EA was saying about how they'd learnt the lessons from the first one, they're going to make sure there was plenty of content, all the DLC was going to be free, I thought there'd be a caveat, and there was. Of course, everything was tied to microtransactions when it came out, and even though they've kind of made that better now, it's still a badly made game. It's just the first one with more content, and of course, more of these cards and stuff to unlock, which I'm just not interested in. They didn't need it in Battlefront 1 and 2, and both of those games were phenomenal. Nobody wanted extra wildcards thrown in there to play in rounds. I think it's just, even though now it's not pay to win, obviously if you jump in now, there's not just the skill that you have to develop. Now you've got to try and unlock some other stuff to be as powerful as other people running around with like fully maxed out cards and stuff. It's just, no, you can't really have that in a competitive game. Can you imagine if that was in like the new Battlefield, as broken as that is, and a subject for a different video? Can you imagine if there was like cards in that, star cards, so you had like extra armor or extra health regen? Can you imagine just how much of a shit show that would be? And that's Battlefront 2. And again, as a Star Wars fan and a game fan, it shouldn't be difficult. Literally all they had to do was give us everything from Battlefront 1, everything from Battlefront 2, and then this reboot, give us all that again, some new stuff, and those graphics, and everybody would have been elated. Everyone would have been singing the praises of DICE and EA for finally making something really good. But instead, over that period of years, we got two massive stinkers. So I think everything should probably go back to LucasArts, or obviously now some other company. Just almost anybody at this point. When you've got companies like Visceral Games going under so we don't get their Star Wars game, and of course the other cancelled games like Star Wars 1313, which was probably still its codename at that point, I believe, or maybe it was actually going to be called 1313. That was looking amazing. That was looking really promising and something different. A single-player game where you were playing, I believe it looked to be some kind of bounty hunter type of deal. That would have been amazing. Something that we hadn't really had since, well, the old Star Wars bounty hunter game back in the PlayStation 2 era. You know, something like that would have been amazing. But of course, EA doesn't seem to like single-player games anymore. And it would seem in this case the game was canned because, well, it's not even technically been canned. They've said that it's going to be put into something else. Their great work, which I hate it when companies do that. Yeah, we cancelled all this shit, but they were doing some great work. Like, if they're doing great work, let them fucking get on with it. Let them finish it. I don't care if it takes 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. Games take time to make if you want them to be good. So this is now the third or fourth Star Wars game that's been canned by EA for bizarre reasons of, oh, it's taking too long, or we don't like the direction it's going in, which basically means EA didn't think they could make much money off it. That's what it comes down. If you want to get down to the brass tacks, that is what it's going to be about. A single-player game would have been really difficult to try and worm in some microtransactions and the like. So they want everything to be open world. They want everything to be really easy to put like XP boosts and all that kind of bullshit in. That's what it's going to be about. I highly doubt they have learnt their lesson from Battlefront 2. Just because they've changed that and they're promising again to never do it again. This is EA we're talking about. EA will always be EA. I don't think they're ever going to change. I don't think they're ever going to learn. So we're going to get some kind of watered down version of that Star Wars game, because it's just going to have its assets chopped and spliced into something else, by the looks of things. So yes, another Star Wars game cancelled by EA that sounded really good, while we still get left with the trash. Basically. That is the TLDR. Interesting sounding stuff. Not good enough. Shit. Apparently. Completely fine. But anyway, that's just my thoughts and opinions. What do you think? Should the license for Star Wars go to somebody else to be given the opportunity? I think at this point Disney really ought to just do it. Just pull the plug. Whatever EA is working on now should be just given to the same teams, but the teams should not be working for EA anymore, because it's clear that EA pretty much doesn't have a fucking clue when it comes to gaming anymore. They're more interested in pleasing the shareholders, they're more interested in making the money rather than making a good product, which would then make money. That's the thing that does not make sense to me. Because obviously EA, to quote Jim Sterling, doesn't want some of the money. They want all of the money, and then some more money to go with all of the money that they've already got. They can't understand that if they make a good game, people will buy it. If you make a shit game, people won't buy it. But if you make a shit game and put some microtransactions into it, I guess you get a continuous stream of some money, if not all of the money. And I think that's pretty much how EA looks at things these days. It's just about making money. And of course it is. It's a business. We expect them to want to make money. But this is a simple thing. If you make it good, people will buy it. And I wish a lot of games would go back to that kind of mantra. Make it good, people will buy it. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in another video very soon.